fmtraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast stream lady for today. Hello, Nick. You there?
I'm here.
Hello. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. All right, everybody. So, we're going to be talking about this week's setup. So, today we're doing day 2 of improving your code, optimizing your code with Nick. Real quick, you do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. We stream on 3 platforms, Discord, YouTube, and Twitch. YouTube and Twitch are on 90-second delay. So if you're like, oh, I asked my question, but you guys have already moved on to a different topic, that is because you are 90 seconds in the past. So I will see your question eventually, and I'll be like, oh, I have this to ask Nick, and I will forward it on to Nick. That all being said, let's see. 2 things. One, Richard and I will be going to full access. Full access is a FileMaker conference that's popping up. And y'all should come visit us. We have a coupon for it. Here. So feel free to sign up and use the discount code FMTraining2025. And then you can come hang out with me and Richard and a bunch of other really cool FileMaker developers at a very pretty place. With that, okay. And then what else? Real quick, if you'd like to, Claris has expressed a desire that they have more people in their ETS. Feel free to send an email to ets@claris.com. So ets@claris.com and ask to join. They've got some really cool stuff cooking. And they want a lot of varied and variety of feedback. The last thing is if you'd like to support the channel, feel free to meander over here and get yourself an annual subscription bundle. We have a ton of video content, like 100+ hours. It's kind of insane. I also know that people find the video content sometimes preferable to live streams because we have a conversational vibe in our live streams that doesn't always work for everyone. Sometimes you want really short little videos. With that all being said, I think we're probably good. Nick, what are we doing today?
Hello. So yesterday, I took a custom function, right, that I had for something else, but it was very close to what I want to do. So I said, okay, I have a custom function doing something, right? And then I said, okay, I want to use that because we do that, we recycle most of the time, right? So I said, I want to use that custom function and I want to create another custom function similar to this one, but with a different behavior. So to do so, what I've done, I sent to ChatGPT the DDR of the solution. Then ChatGPT knows about everything. So when you do this, so ChatGPT came here and it works immediately. Okay, so that it came with that. So it came, what I was saying, it came in matter of minutes. It came with this custom function, right? So I was showing all of this talking, but that's why. So it came with this custom function, right?
Yes.
In matter of second, with the description, with everything, right? And it worked immediately. You remember I told you yesterday I'm going to test. It worked immediately. I didn't do anything. And well, if I had to do that, even though it was from a custom function that I already built, it would have taken me like a day and a half of work with, and I will never have this level of sophistication because this is very sophisticated. I'm going to show you, okay? So it came with this. And so here I have the hard-coded version, okay? So here I have the max date, the min date, max date, min date, number of items. I have 1 item here, 2 items here, 3 items, 4 items, right? It counted how many items I have. But I have 9 records, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Total price, unique price. This is a hard-coded version, okay? Here I have another record here. So now here I have 5 items, 7 record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 7, right? Correct? So, and this is a hard-coded calc. That means the calc is here. If I want to change something here, I want to add something, this is hard-coded, and what's the name? The context is hard, is there, I need to be in T12 and T12A. If I want to use this somewhere else, I need to go to the calc and fix it. This is hard coded in the marble. You can't change anything, add anything, remove anything, tweak anything. No, this is in the marble. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I have another version. So let's change something here. Okay, so yeah, I added the item, So now I have another version. Okay, you saw that it changed, right? Which is not at all hard coded. It is not hard freaking coded. That means, yeah, I have a field, right? It's here. And this is it, right? I have my list of title, my list of logic, my list of type, and the behavior I want to do if there's something empty, okay? And then I get my JSON and I format it to be pretty, right? So that's my calc. Now here I have a table where I say, okay, I want number of record. This is the calc, right? Value count, the number of items is the value count of unique value of the list of TA, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, that's the sum. So all my calc is in the text field, right? I have even let statements in the field. And then I say whatever I want to be. This is a number, that the date, and that the Boolean. Yes, no. Pattern count, if I have item D in the list of, remember that? The item D. If I have item D in one of those, okay? It's test. It's a demo, right? It's not something I know. It's not science, but it's a demo. I need to come with something for the demo. And here it comes. It worked. What happened if I say number of record plus 100? I change the calc on the fly. Well, now I have 107 record. Right? Correct? I change on the fly. Did I do that? Did I go to? I didn't do that. It's not hard coded and it's completely independent about because now look, this, let's say I have two sets, right? I want this record to be tied to the one. Boom. See, I have less now. Yes, because one I have only all those two, those four. See, I can programmatically get what I want with the relationship. If I want to do that here, I can do. I go there, hard coded. I go there. I remove what I want to remove. My calc doesn't work because I need to do all the tweak. but it's hard coded. That means that if you do that, that will be forever, ever, ever, and is lost. You need to go to the last backup to come back, right? Now I said, okay, this record here, I want to be tied to the number 2. So this is the result, the free of the number 2, and this record, number 1. See, I can pick whatever I want, whenever I want, and put here whatever. Okay, here, you know what I want? Okay, I'm adding a new record here. I don't know why it's low. I just want to add a new. Am I connected? Hello?
I hear you. Yep.
I don't know. My internet's good.
You look fine. Your video's fine.
Yeah, but
fine.
I don't know. But, Jacob gave me a free quick and dirty. Okay. This is, for example, I want the account. I want the account, which is get account name, right? Right? And this is text. Okay, on my blob related to 2, right? I want to add this. Okay, get account. Why didn't it work? Did I do a mistake here? Yeah, it works. Get account name. Why didn't it work? But that's funny. Why? Why? It's a text. That's funny though. Account name. Yeah, it's a text. I don't think it's. Do I need to put strings or? Okay, well, no, it's a text. I don't know why. Let's text. Let's try something. Why dates get date? Well, I don't understand why it doesn't work. Oh, I need to put 2 here. Well, that's weird though, because that should work. Get current date, get account name. So this works, but not this. That's weird. Everything works, but not this. Plus 10 here. I don't know. Let me try something here. Yeah, number of items. Yeah, it works. But here it doesn't work. That's weird though, because there's no get account name is text. This is dates. Well, I don't know. So my demo, because here it works, but when I ask for, that's funny because if I don't ask, let's do something. Let's do something. I want the get value, on the get value on this. Let's see if that works. On this, get value on this, and I want the value 2. Okay. So value 2. See, it doesn't work when I add when I add something new, but why this works and this not? That doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Anyway, so my demo fall apart because so it works for all of this, right? But it doesn't work for other things. So let me see if I put that on 1 here. Now it works here. It's the number 2 that doesn't work. That works though. If I put on 1, it works. If I put on 2, it doesn't work. Why? See, it works. That's funny. That accounts text, and that is current date. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it works. I have no idea. Okay, so it works under, but when I put that on number 2, well, it doesn't work anymore. See? That's funny. And now it works. Okay. I have no idea why. But anyway, we don't care. So you understand that you can get whatever you want from wherever you want, right? So I can show you now, before we go to the questions, I want to show you that how to use this system and changing from one, from one context to another without changing the calc. Okay, that's the point. Okay, so I get this, right? And first, of course, I need to get to the here. Oh, I have it. Blowback. Okay. So I'm going here to another context, another table, right? And I'm pasting this here, the JSON, blob. And of course here, well, I change, but in this calc here, I need to point to the right table for where, I need to come and pick up the thing, but it's the same, title and logic and type. Okay. Okay. That's it. So I didn't do like a crazy count. Just I take, okay, all the logic, all the title, all the types. Okay. Correct? Okay. So now in this table, right? Now I'm going to go in this in this one. I'm here, right? I'm here. And I'm going to put, so let's put a new layout, okay? Right. And so I'm putting here the blob, right? Of course, I need to link. So here I am in this item here, description, right? I'm in this description, right? And I want, right, to create a blob for that table. So I'm coming here, say free, right? I want the invoice, for example, ID, right? Or invoice number or whatever ID. I want the invoice ID. So where is the invoice ID? I want this. I'm opening the data viewer and I say, okay, from here, I want the invoice ID, right? Which is this. So I copied the calc and I'm putting here. And that's the text, right? Now I want the invoice date. Okay, so I go there, right? And I say, okay, what will be the invoice date here? Invoice date, okay? Invoice date. This is a calculation. This is a link, the relationship, and this is a date, right? And then what can I get from here? I don't know. The total amount, for example, free total amount, right? So I'm going here, click here, I'm going here, total amount, copy this, boom, and that is a number. So now, for that context, this is what I get. Okay, let me change the. Okay, so I have the blob ID. I have the description, and I have the blob here. Boom. So this calc, this huge super duper calc, work for anywhere from T12, from T13, from anywhere. And you can call, this is I want the calc from this, I want the calc free. In this table here, I want the calc 1, or I want the calc 2, depending on what I want. And on this table, right, I have the calc number 3. Of course, if I call the calc number 1, it won't work, right? It won't work, because it's not, it doesn't work because I'm in T13, I'm not in T12. So that means you can have a library of calcs, right? And you can, but I don't, the big blob stuff is universal. You call this table and you put whatever you want there, right? And just you call a custom function. If the custom function, you feed it with the list, okay, of this, the list of this, and the list of this, it will come with this. So this technique here, I'm using that all the freaking time. I mean, this is now part of my daily life. We call that their external schema, right? That means you have records where you got your logic and you call that on the fly, because you can programmatically call this, right? You can programmatically call this, and what's the name? So, I mean, I don't know if you get the potential of this, but normally here, I will have, I need 1 calc, 2 calc, 3 calcs, right? Correct? And, but we talk about insane calcs. So why this is slow, right? Instead of what ChatGPT did, and I could enhance ChatGPT calculation, if I want, if I have some time, I will show you. But why this is slow, even though it's clean, right? We already optimized this calc, but it's slow because it's not using the right thing. This here will be dramatically more effective. First is a custom function. And secondly, I'm using a while function, right? So that means it's not like a spaghetti style stuff anymore. It's not even an object oriented anymore, you know? It's a cascading calcs. It calc this, but as an independent entity, right? So it doesn't stress the memory. Okay, how to explain? This here, this giant calc, where it is? This giant calc, it needs to load all of this in memory. All of this is in memory, is one core, is one entity, is one thing, is one track. Okay? This is it. Okay? One track. One cargo ship. Okay. This here, it's not. This is a small delivery truck, right? And then unload the delivery truck, then another delivery truck, unload it, then another delivery, another delivery, another delivery, another delivery. The other one, well, you need a big logistic because it's a big cargo ship, right? So it's not the same logistic. At the end, yes, everything will land in the same warehouse. But the transportation, you know, one, you need a harbor to get the cargo ship to, to buoy in your harbor, right? And you need a crane to remove the container from the cargo ship, right? The other one, well, it's the Amazon delivery truck, right? So it's not the same. It's not the same. It's not the same deal at all. So in FileMaker, this is what will happen. So that's why when you do calcs like this, because this calc will be evaluated independently from the other. You evaluate and store the results in memory. The result is stored in memory. The logic and the calc itself is dumped when it's done. Right? It's just those characters are stored. With the hard-coded stuff, you have the whole thing, the whole logic is there in memory. So yeah, this faster, but faster, easier to implement. It was difficult. It took me like 10 seconds of ChatGPT to build it, but right. But I needed to build this, right? But now it's done. So, don't touch it anymore. So do we have any questions?
It appears it works if the value exists in a field, but not if it has to be calculated.
Yeah, so I need to. No, it works. It works if I call. I don't know why. If I put that in the 1, it works. If I put that 2 here, I don't know why. If I put that 2, let's put free. Let's put it in free, just to see. So in this if I put here it works. It's just when I put in 2, I don't know, maybe I have a relationship issue. It works. No, it works. It's just, look, it's a demo file that I don't put like billions of time there, right? It's all my time here is for free, right? So I might have something that interfere with the number 2. I don't know. It works in 1, it works in 2, but when I call it here, it doesn't work. I have no idea why. Right? It works here. So now, since it's a relationship, right? Before we go to the question, look what I can do. I want this to appear in 1 and 3. And I want this to be calculated in 1 and 3. So now here is calculated, right? Account, current date. And if I go there, account, current date is there also. But this is different. So that means you can jungle with your calcs. Say, okay, I want this to be evaluated for 1 and 3. Right? And now, because we use relationship. So for example, see here, I don't have max date. I don't have min date. I say, yeah, but you know what? For this record, right? I want to combine the 1 and 2 together. Max date, min date, that part of 2. But here I call 1 and 2. This is 2. This is 1. And this is 1 and 2. So if you want to do that with your hard-coded calculation, good luck. Good freaking luck. Do it. So Lean, when you send me the email and you send me, oh, look, my calc. It was, it's something weird here. I don't know why. When I put alone, it works, and when I don't put alone, it works. You see, here it works. It might have I need to investigate. This is okay. It's a prototype. I don't know why it's doing this, but it's okay. I don't want to push too hard, but you got the point. Oh, this is not hard-coded. I hope you understand the differences between the hard-coded and the non-hard-coded, right? Right? So Marge?
Yes. Are we following everybody?
So no questions?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So, well, I understand, I don't show like 1 + 1 = 2. We're more about fractions and cosinus, sinus, and stuff like that, right? But unfortunately, well, I need to show stuff that is, but if you master this technique here, right? The blob, for example, as performance, right? Is because you pre-calculate data in the field and then you feed yourself with those data. You don't need to calculate them again. You don't need to calculate them all the time, that every time you enter the record and boom, you calculate this, right? So that are points. You get all these calcs, the sum of this, the value count, the mean, the max, right? I mean, you can put that unstock calc and get them all the time calculated if you want. I'm all for it. But in terms of performance, that would be a disaster. So yes, of course, you also can create fields for all those things, but is it important to have a field for those things? The account name, the current date. Okay, why having a field for that, right? For example, another blob that I'm using. Okay, this idea of blobs. You want to know why I invent that? Okay, and I hope it will work. Let's call it blob 0. Okay, and I want this. So you got the point here, right? Do we need fields for that? No, so get accounts name, right? So when you create, right, all those things, right? So we change it, who when you get changed, when you get created, right? So when you get created, it's a little bit more complex. Is when you say if gets, or I will build it. I don't want to waste time now, but I want a blob to say created by, changed by, created date, change dates, right? Stuff like this. Last time visited, who visited last time, stuff like this, right? So I didn't want to create, all those fields, right? We put that at the end, right? I don't want that. I have I have a record info blob, and I put all the info there, right? And of course, we can search on it. Of course, we can sort on it. Of course, we can do whatever we want. And we don't need a field for that. Because if you use my sort technique, well, you call the blob. That's the point, right? So I can extend that sort technique. That means I have all those blobs here. Okay, instead of having one big, I can have multiple blobs. Say, okay, that the record info blobs, that is the contact info blob, that the invoice info blob. So you can have the record info like created, created, edited, whatever. And then you have for example, here, this is invoices. I have the invoice info blob that invoice date, total amount, whatever. And then I have the invoice item info blob, or how many how many record I have, stuff like that, or how many items I have. Is this item D, right? Is this item D, for example? Yeah, I have it, right? So you can have multiple blob. And then the sort can extract those, and then you because the sort is using a sort blob, right, to get that list, right? So I'm asking the sort system here, it just say, okay, quantity. So I have a sort blob here, right? So let me show. Here I have a sort blob here. Can you see? Not this one. Not this one. Context T13. Okay. Here I have a blob, right? Which is yeah, just sorted all. Oh, this is my blob, right? For this record, I collected all the info, pre-fetch, pre-done, in this field. Everything there is ready for me to be used, to be is there. I don't need to calculate it again. Why calculate it again? That will never change. It's there, it's calculated. So for example, my sort, if I said I want to sort by description, for example, like here, right? If I say I want to sort by description, well, I just use JSON get elements from my blob, and I say I want description from the blob. I mean, the item B is already there. I don't need to code it. I mean, I don't need to build it. So that's how it works. I have this list here matches what there. So if I say sort by description, is sort by description. So here, what is I think this is it, right? So here, you see you have right? So you put item here because I asked to take this, but if I said descending, well, now I have this. Remember the add bash, but it took from here. Is there. He asked for this. Is there. I didn't have to calculate that again from item A. It was calculated there. Like if I said, oh, okay, I want by quantity ascending, right? So he put the quantity here ascending, but as prepared for the sorting in the text field. Remember that? Now, if I said I want descending, well, he changed, but this calc here, I didn't execute the calc. He went to the blob and he said, I want the quantity reversed. It's there. I don't need to recompute every time let's say I want to sort 1,000 record. If I have to recompute that on 1,000 record, that's what you want to do? No. Is the quantity changed every time you want to sort it? No. The quantity will change only if I change the quantity. If I put 4 here, boom, it changed, right? And normally quantity, I need to evaluate the trigger. Normally, if I have on commit, I have something that reevaluate this, and now it said 4, right? Quantity where? Here, 4, right? If I put 5 and I change that again, if I had the on commit, it would have done automatically. Now it said 5. So this change only if I change, but each time I do sort, that doesn't change. I don't need to recompute it all the time. I sort. So just I said the sort, take the quantity, put it here, and sort. Or take the quantity reverse, put it here, and sort. Is pre-fetched, is pre-computed, right? That's why it's fast. Otherwise, it would have been super slow, right? So now it's total price. So he changed the price. He put the price because I said I want to change by total price. So he went there. He said total price, and he put that here. Or what you need a total price? Yeah, total price descending. Let's ascending. Total price ascending, right? So he went there, right, and he took the total price and he put here. See, now if I said descending. Yeah, it's because I have the other file open. I forgot to close it. Well, this is the top level of optimization. Okay, this is not it's the fault of the other file that is open. Is here. I should have closed that file. Anyway, so it will come. So this is the top level of optimization. You can't optimize more than doing the blob technique, right? For when I said that, I said about collecting data and using them instead of recalculating them all the time on the fly. Okay? So if you master the blob technique, well, you are in the level of optimization. Otherwise, it will be okay. It will arrive a moment where your solution, if you have 10,000, 20,000 records, it will be like you click and spinning wheel. You click, spinning wheel. You click, spinning wheel. You click, spinning wheel. Spinning wheel. Spinning wheel. Spinning wheel. You will have you go next record, spinning wheel. You do new record, spinning wheel. You delete record, spinning wheel. You take a coffee and you come back and you so this is what you get. Well, when you get a file, so who has this in a big file? You know, if you have 10 records, you never have spinning wheel. But if you have 10,000, yes. So who has this? Who has this problem, like landing on the layout, spinning wheel, and when you get out of the layout, spinning wheel? Who has this?
I've had the spinning wheel before.
I mean, no, who has this effect, like when you click in one field or you click outside the field and boom,
Yes.
you have like it's not like bam 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 bam. It's not like this at all. It's like click and you click and you up and then you click on something else, and then boom. But it's not like boom 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 boom. Never. So who has this situation?
David does. He says, when my layout is sorted, I have this problem.
Okay. Yeah. So because you don't have an optimized code, that's it. I mean, but this is not just FileMaker. This is valid for every single platform in the universe. For example, FileMaker, for example, when they have a alpha version of this a version of FileMaker that is in progress. So the code is not optimized. The code is dirty, need optimization, so they didn't close all the back doors and stuff like that. Everything is slow, and it's slow to open, and it's slow to, I remember, but it was just a the primary version of the new version, right? And then they go to the optimization phase, right? Like, what I did here, like build the prototype calculation, right? And then ask ChatGPT, okay, optimize me this, right? Well, this is a normal, this is normal thing that happened, right? So, well, so if we don't have any question.
We do have one. This is really great. I'm still unclear on the Z sort order. It is an unstored calc. If it's stored, it doesn't do the same to all users on a hosted solution.
It's an install calc. Doesn't matter if it's stored or uninstalled on sorting. Index is not involved in sorting. In searching, yes, not in sorting. So I don't care. It's an install calc. So that means what I have in the calc is for me, right? Index doesn't make any differences in sorting. Index is for search, not sort. So I don't care if the Z is not. I don't know if did I put that in a store calc. Yeah, so I can say do not store. That's it.
There you go.
and it's the same, it's the same, right? So yeah, but hold on, I might have broken something because I need to yeah, doing this, I need to change yeah, I will fix that because it's I need to change this to our hold on. I need to change this in the as a global variable, I think. Don't worry, the file is I won't give you the file as is. Yeah, I need to put that as a I need to change this as a global variable here. It's this here, it needs to be a global variable, not a local. Because if I put that like this, well, right, it needs to be, hold on. See, it doesn't change. Yeah, it doesn't change the thing because it doesn't understand. See, it doesn't put anything here because it's not a global. I'll fix it, don't worry. Those are prototypes, right? So, I mean, so it's an uninstall calc. At the end, it will be. So, any questions about the blob? Did you get the blob technique, or nobody understood anything about this?
We have, if something changes in the table schema, you need to update all the blob fields, question mark.
If what?
If something changes in the table schema, do you need to update all the
Oh
blob
yeah,
fields?
that's the downside. That's the downside, right? But when you implement this system, okay, well, you are way down in the development, okay, and when you change, why you want to change this? I'm asking, right? Because why? And why you want to change the name? Because you change your mood? Well, no. That standardization of naming is to prevent that. Oh, today I feel like this. Or tomorrow, no, I'm renaming this because I'm changing my mood. I'm a bad mood, so I'm going to rename this. Right? So this is moodless technique of, what it is. So you don't change the name. If you change the fields, yes. I mean, if you change, yes, you need to go there and change. But I can, I made that demo many times. Okay, so let's say we change the T12A. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right? All the T12A, I want to change it. So I'm going here and I'm changing the T12A and put that like Nick. So if I do this, well, everything goes south. Okay, correct? So if I do this, right, 0, 0, 0, 0, right, it goes south because, it can't compute it because this is in sync. So you take a text edit, a text edit, you copy this here, including the two column, okay, right? And then you go and you select the new one you create, right? And you put that in your text field as well, including the column, right? You click here, and you say, okay, find replace. I did it. I did the test. Find replace. So find this and replace with this. Or record this field and direction both. Replace all. So he replaced 7 out of 12, right? Which is correct. So now here is underscore Nick, underscore Nick, underscore Nick, underscore Nick, underscore Nick, and now, boom, bam, fixed. So, well, yeah, it's broken, but it's not a catastrophe. And, well, I mean, if you change the name of fields and name of TOs every 5 minutes, this technique is not for you. But if, there's absolutely no reason to rename that for any reason, right? And you don't care, well, if you don't, there's no reason. And if you do, because you have no choice, because your life depending on naming this, right? You're part of a worldwide conspiracy, and the war will end immediately if you don't rename that, right? Then yeah, so you have the technique here. So you go, and so now I do the opposite, right? I want to go back, so I said this. So I said I click here, and I said find place. Well, actually, it's easy. I can just take this, right, and replace all. So you place 7 out of 12, which is correct. So now it's back, and now it's still working. So yeah, I mean, I have a file where I'm using this, and I have thousands of records here, right? For many things, I'm using that as an extra calc library, and I call them by relationship, by number, right? I have a number, and I say, okay, I want to call the calc, or 200 or 125, or, or I want to call the calc 200, 125, 123 at the same time, right? Do a blob, or have a blob on the same, right? Number, say, okay, I want those, because of course, you can have, you can have one calc if you want, you can have one calc so for example, right? If you call 4, well, you have one result, right? Why it doesn't work? Oh, yeah. I need to do the total price here. This one. Okay. Total price plus 10. Okay. So if you call this total price plus 10, this. Okay. So you can have one cat, if you want, So so that means you can have multiple, you can, instead of having all your calc in FileMaker in the schema here, right? And load the schema with a bunch, because all of this, normally it's a field, but I don't have a field. Yeah, I have one field, one, logic. In one field, I have 13 calc. right? So, and it's I know it's but you here to learn that optimization, but you cannot optimize if you don't go that far, right? I mean, otherwise, yeah, you do the FileMaker stuff that you do, and it's slow, right? I mean, it's slow. It's slow because most of the time you repeat too much. As I show you, right? Because you don't use let. So you repeat all the time and you do the spaghetti style. You remember when we show that the spaghetti style, that means you say, okay, I want, I want if this equal then, and so you have no lets, you don't do like progressive calculation like this and progressive logic, and then you call 2 times the same, 10 times, 15 times the same thing in the calc, and well, and then you have a calc like 200 lines. It took like 2 days to fix because it wasn't working. And finally you got it work, and it's super slow, but you don't touch anymore because you have the results. So, which is the beauty of FileMaker, that even if you do something very dirty, you get the results. In another platform, you do something dirty, you get nothing. Okay, until you do it right. So, but you're here to learn how to do better, right? So, but if you noticed, and if you come here every day, all the webinar I'm doing like the last a month and a half, they're all connected together. They all. I mean, if you want to arrive to that level, well, you need to learn all of the progression and how to name the object oriented, and it's a war. It's like, oh, how Monet painted. Well, you need to live his life to paint like him, right? You get what I mean? Otherwise so, but instead of living my life, right, which is pretty good, by the way, instead of living my life, I tell you, okay, you know what? Here you do everything I've learned the last 40 years, right? And the last year, my work changed. If you notice this, because we have AI. So, and for example, AI, I haven't a story that happened. I want to buy a pinball here I'm a pinball guy, and I gave up. Because it's crease. It's not like in the US, you want a pinball, it's like at the corner, right? But here in Europe is a little bit more, and people are crazy, and they sell like, they want to sell you something like worth $1,000, they want 10,000, right? So I said, last resort, I said, yeah, you know what? We're selling new pinball here in Greece, and he said, oh, you have a couple of options, yeah. So he sent me a first guy. I called the guy, never picked up the phone and never returned my call. I called a second guy, and I left a message. He never came back. He never called me back. And the third guy, hello, can I speak in English? Because I don't speak Greek very much. And he said, yeah, no problem. What's up? I said, yeah, I want to buy a pinball. I said, what pinball you want? Oh, I want this one. I want. I said, what? Yeah, I want. Okay, give me that amount and it's yours. I said, okay, sold. Well, end up now. Well, we never met, but we'll meet like in 2 weeks, and I think we'll be like best friend now, right? So, yeah, AI. Well, I would never heard about this guy. If it wasn't for the last resort, who is selling new games when I don't want new games, right? But I thought maybe if I contact somebody that sell new games, he can find me a used one. And end up that he said, oh yeah, I'm using some new games, but I'm selling mostly used ones, right? So yeah, a new friendship. Anyway, so Marge?
Yes, we have questions actually.
Patino?
Can you show the sort on the relationship? Someone missed it and they want to see it again.
Oh, yeah. So this is on the relationship, right? This is a portal. So I don't use, so the sort is here. So I'm sorting this field, right? Ascending, multiple, right? Is on the relationship itself. I never use that, you know. I never use those two. Never. They can, they introduce those two things because they had, at one point, they had somebody working at FileMaker like 25 years ago that didn't know about what they were doing. So they did a quick and dirty job. They put that here and they never could remove it. Because when you put something in FileMaker, it's forever. So those two, I don't do sort here. Never. You never do that. Never. You do a sort in the relationship, not on the sort, not on the. So, yeah.
We get a question. Should you add to the blob ascending and descending automatically?
Yeah, I demoed that.
Okay.
I mean, for the sort, I'm going to demo that tomorrow again.
Okay.
Yeah. This sort technique is, I understand, is so way out of the box. It's I've really understand why people are lost, because nobody has used that. Okay, many people were using the same technique I was using. I'm not the birth, the birth of that technique. I'm not the genital. But I spent the last 35 years of my life performing it. I mean, and making better. And but ChatGPT made it what it is now, right? And so yeah, it's it's now it's working the way it should have worked. So, but it's way out of. But the difficulty was, to me, to make it so easy, quote unquote, to implement, because everything now is on is on a custom function, and you have one script and that's it, right? And but for tomorrow, I need to fix the install calc here. I need to fix this. Are we good?
I think we're good. Thank you, Nick, very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye.